Guys, I have been waiting so patiently to film this video, and I think it's finally time. I saw a while back Ellen Catherine do this video. I'm pretty sure it's her idea. I will link her video in my description, so everybody go watch her video, show it some love, because I just think it's such a great idea. And as soon as I saw her do it, I knew that I wanted to do it as well. So today we are letting a deck of cards, quite a beat up one honestly. We're letting a deck of cards pick our reads for the week. How this is going to work is I've assigned each suit a genre. So clubs are literary fiction, spades are thriller, diamonds are fantasy and sci-fi because I didn't really have enough of either, and hearts are of course romance. I'm going to pull 3 cards at random and each card is assigned a book. Take the literary fiction genre, we have Ace as a book all the way down to 1 having a book, but I've put them in order of how much I want to read them. So Ace is the top with the book that I most want to read in that genre, my most anticipated reads, then King, Queen, going down all the way to 1, which is the book that I least want to read at the moment. Obviously they're all my books, like I want to read all of them, but as a mood reader, this is currently what I'm in the mood for. We pull 3 cards at random and then the genre and the book is assigned for us. There are also in this deck 3 joker cards. I'm going to introduce a rule that if I pull a joker, I then get to pick the genre. So if we get a joker, I can say, I'm in the mood for a sci-fi. So then we pull out all of the sci-fi cards and then we still pick randomly, but I've assigned the genre to myself. I don't know if that makes sense. That was a lot of housekeeping. I think you'll get it as we go along. But before we get into pulling the cards, I'm going to tell you which book is assigned to each card. So, starting with clubs, which is literary fiction, we have Ace is The Wedding People, King is Margot's Got Money Troubles, Queen is Promising Young Women, Jack is The Girls, 10 is All Fours, 9 is Rosewater, 8 is Evenings and Weekends, 7 is Night Crawling, 6 is Private Rights, 5 is Hot Milk, 4 is Honey, 3 is Burnt Sugar, 2 is The Rabbit Hutch, and 1, because I'm very scared of this book, we have Babel. In the thriller section, we have Ace being The Writing Retreat, King is Then She Was Gone, Queen is The Last Housewife, Jack is The Crash, 10 is The Tenant, 9 is The Drift, 8 is What Lies in the Woods, 7 is The Country Will Bring Us No Peace, 6 is Invisible Girl, 5 The Ugly Truth, 4 The Island, 3 The House Across the Lake, 2 You Shouldn't Have Come Here, and 1 is The Turnout. Again, these are just based on what I'm in the mood for currently. I haven't given the list too much thought, but it was just gut instinct, if you will. Then diamonds is fantasy / sci-fi, because as I say, I don't really have enough of either genre to fill an entire suit otherwise. So Ace, because I love the first one, is Golden Sun, King is Scythe, Queen is Station 11, Jack is 6 of Crows, 10 is This Is How You Lose the Time War, 9 is She Who Became the Sun, 8 is Dance of Thieves, 7 is The Extinction Trials, 6 is These Violent Delights, 5 is Neon Gods, 4 is Caraval, 3 is A Dawn of Onyx, 2 is These Hollow Vows, and 1 is Blood Flowers. And finally we have Hearts, which is romance. I'm not really in a romance mood anyway, so these are all kind of just randomly assigned if I'm being totally honest, but we will see what we get. Ace is The Happy Ever After playlist, King is Powerless, Queen is When in Rome, Jack is Red, White and Royal Blue, 10 is Honey and Spice, 9 is Love Theoretically, 8 is Love and Other Words, 7 is Maggie Moves On, 6 is The Unhoneymooners, 5 is Twisted Love, 4 is Bride, 3 is Girl Abroad, 2 is Until I Get You, and 1, because I haven't touched the series in months, is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. Okay. That was a lot of talking. We're going to pick the books that we're going to read. I'm going to give these a good old shuffle. Nobody judge my shuffling technique. I can't actually shuffle. I just randomly... I mean, I can kind of do this one. You know this one? Oh no, I guess I can't do it. I can kind of do that one. That's the best I can do. Okay, I feel like those are somewhat shuffled, maybe. And we are going to pick our very first book. I will show you guys, but I won't look. Okay, let's go somewhere in the middle to start with. I'm gonna go, I think I'm feeling this one. What is it? Oh, I have 2. I'll go with the one at the front, which is Clubs. Okay, Clubs is good. Clubs is good. Clubs is literary fiction. It is number 5, which is quite low down the list, but it is a literary fiction. Okay, let me look at the list and see what we are reading. Hot Milk. Okay. A tiny literary fiction. I've never heard a review of this one, so I don't know at all what to expect, hence why it's not completely at the top of the list, but it's also kind of in the middle, so I have high hopes. We will see. Book number 1 is Hot Milk. Let's get reading. So I have started Hot Milk and I am on page 100 exactly, so literally just under halfway. So I thought we would talk about this book because I have so many thoughts, and considering this is such a tiny book, so many thoughts. Okay, where should we start? In this book, we are following a girl who takes her mother to Spain to see a clinic. The mother has some sort of quite mysterious leg problem, and so she takes her to this clinic for treatment, and it's meant to be like, I think they've thrown like all of their savings into it, like this is kind of the last option, the last opportunity to try and help her mother. When we get to the clinic is strange. I did think for a moment we were gonna go like full Rouge by Mona Award, like full into like bizarreness cult clinic. Like I thought that was the vibe we were going. We didn't quite go that far, but it definitely leans strange. Like it leans strange in the sense that there are points where you think the doctor isn't even a real doctor and he just does really strange stuff, and I kept thinking like, oh, this is a scam, like this guy isn't really a doctor, but I think he is. I think it's just it's like a very mysterious writing style. It's a very, very odd book. I don't even know how to describe this one. It's just very strange. It's very summery, very vibey. I definitely think if you're going to pick this one up, summertime is perfect. Like it just has a very lovely atmosphere and it feels like hot and sticky and strange, but the vibes are definitely there. And then kind of outside of the clinic, we have our main character kind of just floating around, meeting people, kind of all of those sections of her just sort of wandering and meeting people and doing things. Those are very, very literary. And then it's kind of like these two worlds, this like strange clinic and her kind of meeting people in Spain. I don't know where this is going. It's such an odd book. I'm into it, I think, but it is weird. So this one is for my literary girlies. Like you need to really like literariness because it is strange, but it's also not as strange as I kind of saw it at the start, because at the start I really thought we were going like Mona Award, like down the rabbit hole. We didn't go down the rabbit hole, we're kind of just circling it, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm into it. I'm reading it really, really quickly, but it is strange. It is a strange read. Okay, I have finished Hot Milk and I have a lot of thoughts for you, so buckle in. When I very, very, very first finished this, I feel like my thoughts were different to what they are now. So kind of taking you back, immediately upon finishing this, I was kind of like, I think I liked this, but I also don't think I got all of it. But I ended up audiobooking the end of this, and I just think a lot of the imagery felt like it was kind of going over my head. I just felt like I kind of got it, but equally there were bits that I didn't. Like I felt connected to parts of it, but then parts of it I didn't. And I kind of felt like I needed another read to actually fully get what this book was trying to do. That is how I felt immediately after finishing it. It's been not even that long, literally like a couple of hours, but in those couple of hours, the longer that I've sat with it, the more that I actually like it. And that's quite rare for me. Like normally how I feel when I finish a book is just how I feel about it. This one is strange. Like I find myself constantly coming back to it. Well, it's only been a couple hours, but I keep coming back to it and like making connections in my head and being like, oh, that meant that and that imagery was that. And actually, the more that I think about this, the more that I kind of low-key think that it was genius. And I still don't think I got every single thing. I think there's a lot of imagery in this, and I do think that had I have known this was strange going in, I would have been better prepared, because I wasn't expecting this to be a strange book. And it very much is. I do think the couple of hours of reflection that I've had have actually just done me wonders, because the more that I think about this, the more I'm like, I would so recommend this. Like, I think this is such a great literary summary book. It is strange, it is weird, but it's also really, really good, and I'm now quite excited to read more from this author. I did have to Google quite a lot of the ending, and again, and I think this is where some of the feelings before came in, there were definitely parts of the ending that I just didn't get, and I didn't make all of those connections. I think this is a very like metaphorical type of book, and there are lots of layers, And again, I do wonder if switching to audio just threw me a little bit and some of it just went over me a little bit. But this is what I mean, the more research I did, I ended up, because I also didn't know there was a film, I ended up watching the trailer for the film, which by the way looks amazing. I think watching that trailer, reading a little bit about the ending and just thinking on it, reflecting on it more, this actually has so much going on for such a tiny book. So I would really, really recommend this one. But I do think I need a second read of it, which I don't say very often. There is a lot going on in here and I just think I've only just scratched the surface, and the more that I think about it, the more intrigued I am. And I would recommend it, but I would say go in knowing it's weird, because I didn't, and I just felt maybe just underprepared, like I just wasn't expecting it to be a strange book. That being said, the more I think about it, the more I like it. Like, I just feel like the rating is going up and up in my head. With all that said and done, slightly mismatching review maybe, but I do think generally overall I did like this one, and that is our first book done. So I'm gonna pass you back, you can find out book number 2. Okay, welcome back in everybody. We're gonna give these another shuffle and then we're going to pick our second book. I feel like we started quite strong with the literary fiction. I wouldn't mind another literary fiction, I'm not going to lie to you. I would also be really in for a thriller. I feel like anything else, I'd like one of those preferably. Okay, let's go over here this time. I'm going to pull this card. What is it? Okay, that's so funny because we had the 5 of clubs last time. We have the 4 of clubs. So it's a literary fiction, but it is, once again, quite low down on my list. But a literary fiction nonetheless, so I can't complain. Okay, let's see what we are reading. Okay, we are reading Honey, another literary fiction that I have heard nothing about, hence why they're not tipped top of my list. But equally, I picked them up hoping they would be good. This one is something to do with the music industry, and that is all I know. Book number 2 is another literary fiction. We're reading Honey. Let's go. Guys, I'm very excited because I started Honey. I actually started the audiobook and almost immediately, I think I made it 3 pages into the audiobook, I literally ran, not to be dramatic, but I ran upstairs to get my physical copy because I was like, oh, I need to tab this. I am 30 pages in. 30 pages, like I've barely read any. Guys, this is giving 5-star feels. It's early, but often when I get a 5-star, I know immediately, like within a couple of chapters. This, it's giving the feelings. I've been burned before. I could be wrong. It's giving the feelings. In this book, we are following Amber, and so far she is pretty young and she's just starting to kind of get into the industry. And specifically at the moment, she's kind of auditioning for things, and she's like starting as like a young actor starting to audition. That is obviously all very relatable to me, and I think a lot of the quotes at the start about the stresses and the fun and all of it that come along with auditioning and working in the acting industry, all of that was so immediately relatable to me. So I had to go and grab the physical copy and just have it with me while I'm listening so that I can tab, because the writing style so far I'm loving, and the quotes I'm loving, and as I say, so far 5-star feelings. Very early on, we're only a few pages in, but I have high hopes for this one. I will say, I wish the book had a better cover. That is my only complaint so far. I am making very quick progress into Honey. According to the audiobook, I am 63% into Honey, and I am loving it. It is still very much giving the 5-star feels, and it is so much more literary than I was expecting. It's actually the exact writing style that I adore. It has that real drawn back feel to it. It jumps around in time a lot. It doesn't over explain things. It doesn't hyperfixate on details, and it really trusts the reader. And I think that is something that I really enjoy in books, where they can kind of say that her hands are shaking and you can imply what she's feeling. Like, that's a random example, I don't think they actually say that. But whereas some books would say her hands are shaking because she feels scared, this book just trusts that you're gonna get that. And I love when a writer does that. Right now, it is very much giving a mix of normal people and Daisy Jones. I have very strong feelings about how this is gonna end. Like, I really, really need it to not end in a certain way. I really need it to not go in a certain direction, because that will make me really quite sad. I'm also kind of craving a sad ending. Like, I kind of As much as I love our character, I don't want her to be miserable, but I do just love a sad ending to a book, so we'll see. But there is a storyline progressing in this that I kind of really need to not work out. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil anything, but I kind of really hope that is not where the ending goes, but we will see. But so far, I'm loving this. I have literally no complaints other than I am still listening to the audiobook. I'm just tabbing as I go, as I listen. The only complaint, and it's such a small one, is I really don't like how the songs are done in the audiobook because they do just read the lyrics out, and this always happens when you get songs in an audiobook, but it's a little strange when that happens. But that is my literal only complaint because I am just loving this so far. And as I say, so much more literary than I was expecting it to be. I'm really thinking this might hopefully be a 5-star. Guys, I am very happy to say that I have finished Honey. I just completely adored this. This took me so pleasantly by surprise considering I picked this up on such a whim. This was such a last minute purchase. I've never heard of it, didn't know what to expect. It was so literary and I just wasn't expecting that, and I ended up adoring it. I would highly recommend this if you're a fan of Daisy Jones and the Six, but it's way more first person, so it's even more intimate than Daisy Jones is. I love books about band culture and the music industry, anything like that. If anybody has any recs along those lines, obviously I've read Daisy Jones and the Six and now this one. If you have anything else kind of set in that world, in that realm, please tell me. Because I think this is a new subgenre that I'm realising I love. But overall, the pacing of this book, the messaging of this book, the ending, it didn't end exactly how I kind of expected it to end, but equally, I did really, really like it. The storyline I was kind of talking about before, I'm obviously not going to spoil anything, but I think it went in a really good direction. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything because I really do think you guys should pick this one up, particularly if you did like Daisy Jones and the Six. It obviously doesn't have that interview style, it's way more just first person telling, but this just worked so well for me. I loved the writing style, and I need to read more by this author, by Isabel Banta. I don't know if she has anything else. I kind of think this is her debut. Yes, it is. This is her debut novel, which is crazy. I loved it, and I need you guys to read it and then discuss it with me because this was so perfect, and I'm giving it 5 stars, obviously. This is why I love just picking up books and knowing nothing about them, especially books that don't have that many ratings. I think this doesn't have that many, and I love that because then I get to hype it up and then hopefully you guys will go and read it as well. So I just feel like this was such a success story in that regard. A nice surprising 5-star for the video. So popping this one back on the shelves and you guys can go find out the next book. Welcome back in. I am giving the cards a shuffle before we pick our third and final book. I feel like we've been done quite well so far. We've had 2 literary fiction, which is exciting. Somehow pulled 2 back-to-back cards, so maybe my shuffling is not very good. Imagine if we picked another one, that'd be crazy. Okay, let's pick our third book. I think I'm gonna go over this side this time. Let's go for this one here. Is it a good one? No way, we got the Joker, which means that I get to pick the genre. Okay. Oh, see, here's the thing. I kind of want to just pull literary fiction again, but I don't know if that's really boring for you guys. That is kind of what I want to do. Would you guys be mad at me if I did that? That is what I want to do. I'm going to do that, sorry. In which case, let me quickly pull out all of the clubs that remain. Okay, I believe that this is all of the remaining clubs. So all the ones that haven't already been picked. Obviously, we've already picked 2. So I'm going to give these another quick shuffle and then hopefully we get something good. I would love one of the books in my monthly TBR. Those are right at the top. So if I pull a high number, potentially, that would be good. Okay. Let's pick our third and final book. Oh, that one's up. Should I just go for that one? Oh, I dropped one. The 9 of clubs, that is high. That is very high. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see. Okay. 9 of clubs is not on my monthly TBR, however, I'm very excited for it. Number 9 is Rosewater. Funnily enough, I got Rosewater on the exact same trip that I got Honey, so that's fun that I get to read some of my new books. Another one that I've heard nothing of, so this is so fun. I'm going into this video reading 3 books I have never heard a review of, but I kind of love that. Okay, book number 3, a literary fiction, Rosewater. let's get into it. I am 50% into Rosewater. I've actually been away for the last week. I've been in Brighton. I did vlog the whole thing, so if you want to go see it, it was in my September vlog, so go watch that. But while I was away, I made good progress, and we're now on page 184, so actually slightly over halfway. This book is one that I found in like a discount bookstore. I'd never heard of it, I've never seen a review of it, so I've very much gone in not knowing anything, and I kind of said, like, from the blurb, I was hoping that it would be relatable, like fun literary vibes, and it kind of is that. So we're following Elsie, who is 28. She right at the start, like literally in the first chapter, gets kicked out of her apartment, and then we're kind of following her from there. She works at a bar, she moves in with her best friend. Like, I think it's just very being in your 20s core. It also captures London so perfectly, just being in London, living in London. Oh, and she's also a poet, which, you know I love a book about a writer. So there are so many elements of this that were just so up my alley. I am finding this really quite relatable. Obviously not everything, but there are like parts of this that are just so relatable to my life, even down to just working on a bar, because like I work on a bar, and let me tell you, I have so many stories of good customers, but some really bad ones as well. So even like just that element, and then like trying to balance this like creativeness with also earning money, like all of that, loving it. Our main character, love our main character, love Juliet as well, which is the best friend that she's moved in with. The writing style itself, I don't actually know what it is. Something about it is not like my typical like favorite writing style, but I still think that it's a very just like relatable story. Such lovable characters. Literally the main characters in this are the best part. As I say, something about the writing style isn't like my usual kind of writing style, but I actually can't put my finger on what it is specifically. I think it's a very like specific way of writing. Like, for example, I don't know why this sticks in my mind, but there was one moment where instead of saying like she went downstairs to get a coffee, it was like she goes downstairs and scoops Nescafe into a mug, and like it was very specific details of things, which kind of reminds me of Everyone I Know Is Dying by Emily Slapper, where like in that book she's very like, she details every tiny thing. This one not so much, but I think that might be like the style thing that I'm talking about, but I don't really know. It's just something I've picked up on. But mostly I'm really quite enjoying this, and I just love our main character and I'm rooting for her so hard. Hello friends, this is just like a little editing note for you guys because I think this is about to be really confusing. That last clip and the clip you're about to see are filmed really far apart. I don't know how I've done this. Somehow I am wearing the exact same outfit, the exact same hairstyle. Like, it just looks like they're filmed literally in the same moment. They're not. You can kind of tell from the background. But I just thought I'd pop in and say that because otherwise I think it looks quite confusing. Anyway, maybe you guys weren't confused at all, but I was watching them back. I thought somehow I had the clip in twice. Anyway, enjoy. Guys, when I tell you that I finished this book ages ago, and then just forgot to tell you. Between you and me, don't tell the others, I actually read this book first. I know that you're seeing it last in this video. I actually read it first because I was really, really excited. I then finished it and then just forgot to tell you about it. So hey, hi, thought we'd chat. The ending of this book, something like really, really major happens at the end of this book, but it was almost like, I don't know, it felt kind of rushed in a way. Like this really major thing happened and then we only really had like 10 pages left of the book. So I was, the second it happened, like, how are we gonna resolve this in 10 pages? And it does resolve, like it does pretty much anyway come to like quite a like tied up conclusion. It just got there very, very quickly. But the best thing about this book is 100% the characters. I loved the main character. I loved our like main character's best friend, like the girl that she moves in with. I love watching their relationship develop throughout the book. There was sort of like a mini-ish plot twist that I did see coming, but either way, it's a very gorgeous story and it is so warm and lovable characters, and I would really, really recommend this one if you want something that feels very real but also very warm. Like there are very sad moments in this, but it does feel like a hopeful type of read. I kind of touched on this before. There's something about the writing style that isn't like the typical writing style that I go for. I still can't really put my finger on what it was specifically, but I just think it's not like my specific writing style that I generally reach for. I think I quite like a very pared back writing style, one that's kind of like doesn't give you too much details, which I feel like is kind of a controversial take anyway. I feel like most people like quite detailed writing. But all of that aside, the characters are so lovable. This is such a gorgeously told book about love and about poetry and being creative and living in London. And if any of that sounds up your alley, I would really, really recommend it. And I definitely want to read more from Liv Little because I did really enjoy this one. And I think it's definitely worth your time. So that is our final book for this video. I'm going to round it up here. Personally, currently, haven't actually read all of the books for this video, but you will have seen them all, so I'm going to round it up anyway. So here's hoping I enjoyed them. I don't know, but you will know at this point. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I would love to have you. Like the video, comment, all of that fun stuff. And I will catch you in the next one. I love you. Goodbye.